To kick off this morning's enlightening discussion, I'd like to call up here to the front Manulife Philippines' Chief Marketing Officer, Ms. Sonali Verma.
Thank you, Sean. Good morning, all of you, and a most warm welcome. As Sean said, this is an annual event for us, but this year we are especially excited because we have some powerhouse of ideas coming up later for you. And we really would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you from the media community who spent the time to be with us this morning. At Manulife, our mission is decisions made easier, lives made better. And today we are here to talk about the insights we have gathered from our most recent study that touches on a topic that closely aligns with this mission: Filipinos' health and wellness. Being from one's overall quality of life, that's why we at Manulife are keen to understand the challenges and opportunities in this area that can help inform our strategy so we can better serve our customers, indeed making their lives better. A recent survey has uncovered some fascinating and actionable insights about how Filipinos view and approach their health, which includes their diet and nutrition, as well as physical wellness. Throughout this session, we will explore these findings in depth, and we also aim to have an open dialogue about how we can empower Filipinos to take charge of their life and their health and their well-being. Thank you once again for being here. Maraming salamat. Enjoy the morning, and hopefully all of us will take away something that is meaningful for us from the dialogues that are coming up. Thank you, Sean, once again. Back to you.
All right, thank you again also, Sonali, for that. Okay, so Sonali has just set the stage and told you guys a little bit about what to expect in today's discussion. So let's dive deeper into the results of this year's survey. So in wellness and in health. For that, Manulife surveyed 1,000 male and female consumers across 4 age groups. So the first one is 18 to 29. Then we have 30 to 39, 40 to 49, and 50 to 55. You have to ask them why they cut off at 55 at the last bracket, okay? Later on. So the people surveyed are from across all household incomes, so different income groups. This is in order to identify the current state of nutrition and wellness among Filipinos, and also to understand the factors that impact it. And to share with us this morning the key findings from that study, I am pleased to call on the next speaker. I'm going to read this off. He is the president and CEO of Manulife here in the Philippines, responsible for the development and execution of Manulife's strategy in the country, supercharging the business so that the company can continue making decisions easier and make lives better for Filipinos. He is an insurance industry veteran, having taken on various sales and distribution leadership roles in operations, agency, and bank assurance across geographies. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Mr. Rahul Hora.
Thank you, Sean. And before I share the outcome of the studies, I really want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for being here. And this particular topic of health and wellness is very, very dear to our hearts as Manulife. We're extremely passionate about it. And I just want to spend a little bit more time on why do we do this research and why are all of you here. I think first of all, it's very important for us on a yearly basis we do this research because we want to understand what are the top concerns that our customers are feeling. What are the top concerns that they have. And of course, health and wellness is one. It's not only an emerging topic, but it's also a topic of great priority for our customers. And it's a landscape which is emerging and it's quite complex. So this kind of studies really helps us to understand what are our customers' top concerns, what are they feeling about it, and it gives us a lot of insights into our customers. The reason why these insights are important is because then it enables us to develop our strategies on how do we enable in our own way to enable our customers to in this field or in this landscape of wellness and health. And of course, we also understand and appreciate that we alone as an organization cannot reach out to all these challenges that we hear from our customers. And that's where we need a lot of partners. Partners like all of you who are media experts, media key figures, because through our study, we understand that there is still a very huge gap on education, on awareness, and that's where we believe that our partners in the media can really help us to bring this message across to our customers, effectively. And of course, we have other great panel speakers, which I'm not going to introduce now. We leave it for the later. But you will realize that these great panel speakers are subject matter experts in their own fields, which are areas of concerns and importance to our customers. And we try to bring these kind of panel discussions together so that Manulife is partnering with all of these experts to bring a message across to our customers and give them more information, which is extremely relevant. And we will continue to build upon such partnerships and ensure we are over a period of time building an ecosystem which enables our customers on this journey of health, wealth, and wellness. So quickly on the survey, as we mentioned, we do this survey on an annual basis, and we are very happy to share some of the outcomes and what we've seen out of the survey. So first, what was the objective of this study? What did we get into this study, with in mind? First of all, we wanted to understand what is the current state of nutrition and wellness among Filipinos across various demographics and the socioeconomic profiles. Second, it allows us to understand what are the various factors that impact health and well-being, including dietary habits, lifestyle, access to healthcare and medical expenditures. And then, of course, very importantly, examine what is the role that proper nutrition, healthcare access, and of course, financial literacy, which is extremely core to our business, is helping shape a better future for Filipinos. So those were the objectives with which we entered into the study. We've already discussed this. I'm going to skip this slide. I'm not going to dwell on every slide, but try to give you the key messages which we are getting out of our research. So first key finding, and this was one of the findings which was quite surprising to me as well. Younger does not mean healthier. Did anybody hear about this before this? Because we typically always assume that younger is connected to being healthier. You're healthier when you're younger, and as you progress in your age, you tend to get more and more critical illnesses. Apparently, that's not true. And there is statistic which which we found. This is what we call as total sick, which is the number of times that an individual has fallen sick in the last 12 months. And this is it's broken down into three aspects. One is sick but did not visit the hospital or any doctor, just felt sick. Second is the individual felt sick but did end up being in hospital or going to the hospital consulting a doctor. And the third way is the person was sick and stayed in the hospital. So if you combine all these three incidents in the last 12 months, on an average, an individual was sick 2.7 times. And surprise, surprise, the 18 to 29-year-old were sick 3.4 times in the last 12 months. The highest amongst all the age bands that we surveyed, which came to us quite surprising, which means that people at a younger age are starting to feel the pressures, are feeling the challenges, and are getting sick, in fact, more number of times than some of the elderly aged people in our study. Then what was important is what is the main causes of those sickness. This again is a trend that we've been seeing on a year-on-year basis, and again quite surprising. When we talk about the top 3 critical illnesses or things like that, it's always the diabetes, the cancer, the heart diseases of the types which come up. But here, right up with diabetes came anxiety and depression. So these are serious concerns and have increasingly becoming more and more serious concerns for our customers when we surveyed them. Of course, there's a whole list of other things which people are concerned about, but seeing anxiety and depression right up there as high as diabetes was quite a surprise. We've seen this increasing trend on a year-on-year basis, and now it is at par and amongst the top 3 concerns that our Filipinos have. What are some of the reasons which is contributing to them? 28% of them are not getting enough sleep, and then 68% believe that following a regular exercise is expensive. So these are some of the things which are contributing to the challenges that we saw in the previous slides. What is the other key finding? What is the challenge when we come to Filipinos committing themselves to a healthy lifestyle? What are the key struggles that our fellow Filipinos are facing? Let's look at some of those. I think the first thing which was quite encouraging was that overall there is awareness. There is awareness and appreciation. One, there is awareness, and when we asked our respondents that how many of them think that their current lifestyle is unhealthy, 33% admitted that they believe that their current lifestyles are unhealthy, which is quite a significantly large number of people, which means that there is a high level of awareness. Now, when we go to, when we ask that, do they really appreciate? Okay. The next, do our fellow Filipinos believe that health priorities are important? Yes. So again, a good news, they do feel that it's important to have and maintain a good health and wellness for the long term. And of course, some of these things which are of high priorities are diet and nutrition, and of course maintaining a healthy diet, exercise regularly, and all of those things are there. They are aware of it, but they also understand that 33% of them are not having a healthy lifestyle. So there is a high sense of awareness and appreciation of the importance of these things and the lack of these things in their lifestyle at this point of time. Now, what is keeping them away? What is the challenges that they are facing? Some of the things which came up quite high, especially on the health and on the eating behaviors, was the 24% of the Filipinos said that they do not really know what is considered a health diet. So this is where we felt there is an awareness issue, right? Even if they feel that they don't have a healthy lifestyle, even if they believe that it's important to have a healthy lifestyle, 20% of them believe that they don't really know what is considered. So lack of awareness, lack of knowledge. And 34% they believe that they do not have the time to think about the diet. Another couple of myths which came up, which was quite surprising, were that 25% of a respondent actually believe that critical illness can only happen to you when you're middle aged or older. And the data shows quite different, that the younger people are getting more sick. But still a lot of people believe that critical illnesses or wellness or illnesses are only connected to elderly ages. And another very shocking myth or surprising myth that came up was 21% still think that eating habits and nutrition have little or no impact on children's mental development. That was again a bit of surprising outcome that we saw, but it was interesting because again it tells us that there is a certain lack of awareness, and education is important, where there is a lot of education and content that we can share, which makes our customers understand and appreciate these challenges. Okay, so when it comes to healthy diet, we all talk about healthy diet and we all understand the importance of nutrition, ensuring that we are keeping a healthy diet routine for ourselves so that we can even prevent these critical illnesses rather than only looking at these as a cure. So what are the challenges? The first and the foremost, there is a perception that healthy eating is usually more expensive. And a very high 54% of the respondent understand and think that healthy eating is quite expensive. Second, healthy food does not taste as good. How many of you believe that? Right? I'm seeing a lot of smiles come on the faces of people when they say healthy food is not tasty, and I think Irwin later will have some insights to share about that. And in our discussion earlier, he said Not necessarily every meal has to be tasty. Quite a good insight. We'll probably delve into that a little bit more when we come into our chat session. But again, a very interesting insight, which to a certain extent I would say is true because it's a perception that healthy food doesn't taste good. And the other one is the convenience part, the accessibility. That healthy food is not convenient to get, it's not easily accessible. So it's not only expensive, but it's also difficult to get. So these are some of the top 3 challenges which came up when we asked our customers what is the struggle that they're currently facing to commit to a healthy lifestyle. Now when it comes to exercises, a lot of excuses as always, right? We all understand, again, just like diet, exercising is extremely important. But what are the most popular reasons for not committing to an exercise schedule by our respondents? 40% of the respondents believe that exercise is always painful or takes too much of effort, right? Again, 38% equally high said that they're too busy. I think traffic is to be blamed a little bit on this because the amount of time that people now have to spend on just commuting is taking away a significant amount of time from their lives, which they could have probably committed to exercise. And again, lack of knowledge and awareness shows that 37% they do not know what type of exercise is appropriate for that body. Quite surprising, quite a significant high number of respondents, which means again, that we need to invest more in educating and sharing certain facts with our customers, which will allow them to understand this better. And again, the 4th point is accessibility. It's not easy. It's not easy to find ways of exercising. There are not even certain parks around to walk and in a safe environment. So even if they would want to commit, accessibility continues to be a challenge for our customers as far as exercising is concerned. The last is, of course, which is very close to our heart because this is where we really operate and this is core to our business, is how do our customers feel about their level of preparedness for medical expenses? Do they feel that they have enough? And of course, there was no surprises in this because this is something which has been coming out over and over again. 41% of Filipinos' medical spending are out of pocket. This figure over the years, we've seen it declining, which is good news. A few years back, this figure was as high as 52%. So anything between 41 to 50, that's the number that we've seen. But either ways, it's extremely high. Even if we compare ourselves with some of the other neighboring countries, which are like Thailand, which are Indonesia, which are Vietnam, this out-of-pocket expense is on the higher side, right? Which means that they have little or no level of insurance coverages to cover for these medical expenses. 82% of them source these medical expenses from their own savings. Now imagine the impact that this has on their own financial well-being, because these savings were probably meant for something else. These savings were probably meant for their children's education, for other meaningful expenditures that they were planning for, but it had to be consumed, or it ended up getting consumed for a medical expense. 26% through HMO and 22% end up borrowing money to cater to medical expenses. They take loans, they borrow money from friends and relatives, but overall, loud and clear, the message is Filipinos are still not financially prepared for medical expenses. What is most important healthcare needs for our customers? Again, emergency services, hospitalization, preventive healthcare, mental health, right up there amongst the top 5 now. And again, not a surprise looking at the high incidence of stress and anxiety and depression that we saw in the earlier slides. But the important aspect at the bottom is what is the extent of this gap? So look at those numbers. Between the age of 18 to 29, our customers, if you ask them what is the amount of savings that they have at this point of time, they are in the range of about 38,000 pesos. That's the amount of savings they have with them to deal with any medical expense. How much they would need is about in the range of 570, 580,000. So that's the gap that they will have to fill up if anything was to happen to them at this point of time. And even if you look at the, what have they set aside, is 62,000 versus again what would they need in the next 10 years is 571,000. So even if you quantify this gap that we were talking about, quite a significant gap. Where they are and where they need to be, there is a huge financial gap that we need to fulfill, and that's what gives us a lot of food for thought on how can we structure our products going forward so that we can help our customers address this particular financial gap that we're talking about. Yeah, sorry, just one slide back. Okay, in terms of securing the health information, what are they most interested in? What kind of information people are looking for? Treatment of critical illness, how nutrition and healthy lifestyle. Again, the two at the bottom are sources of information which everybody's hungry about. They want to know more about nutrition. They want to know more about healthy lifestyle, because as shown in the earlier slides, these are certain gaps that we have at this point of time. The customers are not completely aware what does it mean to be having a healthy lifestyle and having a good nutrition. When it comes to health insurance products, what are our customers looking for? And we, of course, did that research so that it enables us to develop better products going forward. Again, I think one of the big things which is coming up is discount for family members. People want one single insurance product to cover for their entire family rather than having to buy individual health insurance products for every family member. That's a trend again we've been seeing for a few years, and we're working on this, and the great input for us as an insurance company. Second is disease-specific prevention and management services. This is coming up primarily driven by affordability. Right? A lot of people do not have the funds, do not have, or are struggling with affordability to buy a very comprehensive medical coverage for themselves, but they still do understand that there are these top 3 to 5 critical illnesses which constitute majority of these medical expenses. Then how can they cover themselves against those top 3 or top 5 critical illnesses rather than going in for the entire health coverage to ensure that they're also able to deal with that affordability issue. And it came out very specific that they are looking for disease-specific prevention and management services. Again, life insurance protection on top of medical coverage. So how can we have both the things combined in a single product? In summary, again, these are the 3 key findings which came out of our survey. The first one is younger does not mean healthier. Second, Filipinos are currently struggling to commit to a healthy lifestyle, both because of lack of understanding and appreciation, and also because of certain other challenges where they feel that it's more expensive and the accessibility of some of the things that they want is not there. The third, but not the least, is our Filipinos are not currently prepared financially. There continues to be a high out-of-pocket expense, and there is a huge financial gap that we as insurance company are passionate to continue to work with our customers to fulfill. And that gap, the good news is that we are seeing the trend in the right direction. It's going in the right direction. The health protection gap is decreasing on a year-on-year basis over the last 5 to 6 years, but there is still a very, very long way to go. That's it. That brings me to the end of the presentation. And again, thank you very much. And I hope we've been able to share some good insights for to all of you through this research that we've been able to conduct and the findings that we've been able to get.
All right.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Rahul, for talking us through the key findings. Very, very interesting ones. For sure, some I'm sure we all know about. We might be guilty of some of those findings.